Ramos is 1 for 2. Taps this one to third. And he sails it down the right field line. Ramos is on the move. And he is going to stop. No, now he's going to go to third. Here's the throw. It gets by him. Here comes Ramos. This game is over. Unbelievable.
I mean, it would have been a great play from Jackson. I mean, he tries to play. It goes up the line, and you see Ramos swing. He was going to stop at second base. Matt Williams was having a heart attack, waving him over to third. And then the errant throw, and up the line he goes, and we all go home happy. My goodness.
Adames was stride for stride along the dugout.
And he was going to be just very happy to be at second. Then he looks over and he sees Matt Williams. And it becomes a snowball fight. And the Giants walk off with a tremendous homestand and a wonderful 17-game stretch.
All right, here's your final. It's the Giants 3, the Rangers 2. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Toyota Giants post-game live starts right.
All right, everybody, welcome to the hot corner. And wasn't that an incredible finish for today with the Giants walking it off for the second straight day? Actually, 3 times their last 3 victories on the homestand were all walk-offs Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, man, life is good right now in Bay Area sports, guys.
That is the truth. Man, how about that? Did you see Willie Adames coming out of the dugout? He was the only one out there. He was all running with them. I was like, man, that's awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, hey, that's and Senior, he kind of hits it, you know. He says here, these are the kind of things that happen in let me see it. Here it is. Yeah, the Posey effect. These are the kind of plays that happen in magical years. Just saying. You never know. It is. It's a weird thing, guys. It really is. I mean, they're playing baseball. They're winning ugly at times, but they're winning.
Right. And honestly, to Glenn's point, he's not going to be with us today. He's busy with his radio stuff. But there's a lot of luck involved. But baseball, I mean, just the game of baseball involves a lot of. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the whole luck thing real quick.
Yeah.
Is there another sport out there that's more superstitious than baseball?
Oh, no.
No, there isn't. So what's that mean? It means people have lucky charms, whether it's how you're remember Garcia Parra, how he'd be doing all this before he even gets to the box. I mean, it's incredible. So yeah, I mean, it's inherent in the game, and there's times where it will reward you, and there's other times it'll bite you in the ass.
Right. No, and the Giants are they're winning games that are just they're winning it the Giants way. Mm-hmm. You know, just kind of, you know, these 3-2 ball games. Occasionally there's a blowout, but for the most part, they're winning games that are just, you know, they're not that exciting at home, but they're winning. Hey, and didn't we say this is how they would be winning? This is they're going to win these close games at home. I want to show you guys something that's rather interesting. You know, what would you say this team compares to more, like the 2010 team that kind of came out of nowhere, or I mean, when you look at the Giants, nobody expected them to win in 10, right?
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So look at the 2010 start of the season. They started off 6-1. Yep. Then they went in, then 6-2, and then they had a few little mishaps. They were 8-7. 9-7, 10-8, but then they got on a little streak again, and they were 17-10. Right now, the Giants are 19-10.
19-10.
So they were, after 29 games, this team was 17-12. So Giants are like 2 games ahead of that team's pace. And I'm just saying, it started by having a winning record. And if you look the rest of the season, yeah, they got to 23-22, but they never went under.
They never went under 500, did they?
That I recall. I'm going here as I'm sliding this up here. Right here at 41-40, that was the closest.
Yep.
But they never went under 500. And you see, they finished with 92 wins. So this is kind of reminding me a little bit of this team, because that team, now it actually reminds me a little bit more of the 09 team in a way, because the 09 team was the first winning season since the 04 season. They lost 05, 6, 7, and 8. They had losing records. And then the 09 team, Lincecum winning the Cy Young for the second year in a row. And I think they won didn't they win like 88 games or something like that in 09? And then,
yeah, I can't remember, something like that, right? They started,
and then they just started winning. So I think we're kind of around where the 09 team might be. Maybe they hold on and the positive vibes carry and they're able to stay in this thing. But the longer, guys, don't you guys think the longer they learn to win, it becomes more of a expectation on the team's behalf?
That's a pretty good observation. Yeah, why not? Lou, what do you think? You think that's, the more they do this, you think maybe they're starting to, maybe it builds their confidence knowing that they're never out of it?
Yeah, I still think it's a little bit too early. And the one thing that is sort of intriguing me is we're really still not hitting and we're winning.
Right.
So, I think one of the things we've talking about a lot is I'm worried about the starting pitching, but now the starting pitching's getting better, but our hitting is sort of fading. So, we need the team to do all 3 aspects of the game: hitting, pitching, and then, as me and Dan says, the last couple of days, we've just done the basics, like getting a runner over, hitting the opposite way, doing whatever it takes to win. But, we need a few of these guys to step up. I mean, it was, late night today hit 3 bombs, bases loaded.
He did.
And he got nothing to show for it. So, I eventually think he's going to be coming back. But, I'm just worried about these other guys. I think, hey, I'm not going to say anything, bad. I'm shocked. I'm very excited. I think this team is completely different. I give Dan a lot of credit because he said as soon as we got rid of Farhan with Buster, he's been saying all since the spring training, this team's different, Lou. I'm telling you, they're different. They're different. I'm just worried because, the hitting has to improve, because if you're going to look, we're going to be playing better teams, and the Giants aren't going to win every game when we're going against good pitchers. We're only getting 4 hits or 5 hits.
Right.
And I think Dan brings
Lou,
up a
you
good
have
point.
to also look at, they beat the Yankees on the road. They were even with the Phillies.
Yeah, no, I give them that.
I mean, the Brewers were a pretty decent team. I mean, they're playing. It's not like they're playing, the Rockies and the
Colorado, the White Sox. No, I agree, but it's only been 30 games.
Right.
I think,
What do you think about this statement on the screen there from Aaron? At what point is not early anymore? I think about right now. 30 games. Look, they're coming up on in 10 more games.
When the calendar flips, it's no longer early. That's how.
Yeah. I mean,
I think June 1st.
That's fair.
2 months, because you got to remember it started in March, so I know they're playing 2.5, but I mean,
right?
Eventually we can look at the schedule. But hey, all I wanted them to do by Derby Day, which is next Saturday, is to be close and they're way ahead of me. So I'm giving them all the credit in the world. You know, I mean, one of the things, you know, it's so funny what makes baseball so special. And Dan talked about this earlier. Last Sunday, we were pissed off, upset at Melvin. The relief seemed like a disaster. And a week later, we sort of forgot about that, even though it was only a week ago. It seems like a couple weeks ago. And that's what makes baseball so beautiful. You know, you play, you come off an emotional loss, you play the next day. And then the Giants played horrible Friday, and they come back and win Saturday, Sunday, 2 walk-offs. That's what makes baseball so unique. You know, they're going to have a wonderful day off tomorrow. And then, you know, we play San Diego, who's, you know, going to have their some good pitching too. So all I'm saying is I just think we need to work on the hitting. Now, the one thing about this team compared to Farhan in charge, I know if we do need hitting, we'll get hitting. We're not going to stick with the same guys we have. And, you know, that gives me a lot of hope.
Right. Yeah, definitely. We're not Farhan. Hey, Lou, you mentioned you kind of wanted him. You mentioned in the beginning of the season, you know, this 17-game gauntlet that they just finished today was going to be a huge test. And you're saying you just want him to be close. How is this for close?
That's incredible, dude.
Incredible.
That's incredible.
Is that wild or what?
No, there's no one. There's no one. No one in the chat, even you, Robert. There's no one that predicted that.
Robert, you didn't.
Robert.
No way did anyone predict the Giants to be sitting here on April 27th with the Giants in first place. That's incredible.
Yeah. So the record in the 17-game stretch, Cole, was 10-7. 10-7. And pretty remarkable, considering that it started
8-1
on the road, didn't it? Didn't it start on the road?
Started on the road
in New York in that horrible weather. I mean, they had to go through.
Yeah, right.
That just right, and then to go to Philly. I mean, they almost took 3 out of 4. Remember the one game that Verlander kind of gave up in the 6th inning when I thought Melvin left him in there too long. They were ahead in that game, and our bullpen
is lights out right now.
Lights
out, dude.
This bullpen, and if you put Hicks in the bullpen, if you ever decide to put Hicks in the bullpen and get Birdsong in the rotation, Birdsong's pitching well out of the bullpen right now too. So it's nice to have. I'd love to see him start.
And to talk a little bit about this game before we get into the series, Hicks got, you know, he was okay. I'm not going to say he was great. I think Verlander and Ray had a better outings. Hicks was saved by his defense because they were hitting some line shots off him. They got some hard contact, but he was able to limit the damage, and he had the defense behind him. Yeah, I mean, Chapman with that stab at third base, and then was able to double him off at first base. Jung-Hoo Lee had a beautiful assist, played that nicely, had an assist.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had some defense out there behind him, but to your point, Dan, once you get into the Giants bullpen, you know, other than with the little blip with what happened with Ryan Walker, but he seems to have got it back in order. Man, the Giants have a lead and the bullpen comes in. You could pretty much say, hey, game's over.
Yeah. What did you guys, Alive says Hicks.
It was down. I noticed
down today. And I'm not sure what's going on. We saw this at the kind of the tail end of his starts last year. He started.
You know what I think he's doing? I think he's doing it to get some more command.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think he's getting. I only saw a couple of times where he hit 98, but I think that's probably what it is. I think he just wants to command it a little bit more because he realizes if he throws a little bit too much velocity, he probably just doesn't know where it goes. That's my guess.
I sound like a party pooper, right?
What?
They're always tough. Hey, Dan and Eric, I do want to say one thing. Man. You guys were talking about our bullpen, and I know all season you guys have talked about people have to have like an incredible year for the Giants to make the playoffs and do that stature. And right now in the bullpen, I mean, you have 2 guys that have been absolutely incredible. One guy who I didn't know why he was even fighting for a spot, but when you look at it, you got to give credit. First of all, Tyler Rogers has been unbelievable in the 8th inning.
Lights out.
Unbelievable. And he's never really been in trouble, it seems like. And then, of
No.
course, Birdsong, you know, he's just been, he sort of reminds me right now of how when Timmy was, what was that, 12 or 14 when he came out of the bullpen? You know, it's
12.
lights out. Yeah, 12. It's lights out. You know, and those two guys were, hey, we knew we'd have a good bullpen, but we didn't realize these guys are taking it to the A level, which has really, really helped considering, you know, we had problems with a closer this, but I mean, they're right now so solid. Really, we only need our starters to get to the 5th or 6th, because then all we really have to worry about is the 9th. So I just wanted to bring it up because two logical guys where, you know, we might not even thought of, you know, have been really our aces, you know, for
we got a little Eprakua. He says, hey, welcome, Eprakua. And our response to you.
Well, there you go. There you go, Eprakua. I don't even know how you'd say his name. Oh, man. That's pretty good.
Right,
speaking of being a party pooper.
We might leave that one up there for a little bit.
We'll have to talk about that later, Dan. Speaking of party pooper, Mr. Roki Sasaki.
Oh,
we'll talk about that later. That's that. We'll leave that for that. That was pretty damn funny though. We had some fun on the damn text. But my gosh, the series, man. I knew it was going to be tough. I was a little worried about some of our starting pitching, but Verlander looked good. Ray was fantastic yesterday. Hicks was okay. I mean, that's all you can really ask for. And they had the timing. This is prototypical Giants baseball. Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting, and it wind up winning today as far as the series is concerned.
This is NorCal Sports Network and Giants Sports Talk Live. So we'll put all these kind of comments up, guys.
Oh, man.
Luciano's starting to heat up. Wouldn't surprise me. He makes a contribution. Yeah. If he starts hitting, man, that might be your. I don't know why they're not giving him a shot at first base, man. Why aren't they teaching this guy to play first base down there at AAA? I mean, left field, you got to wait for Ramos and Matos to go down, basically.
Yeah. And maybe even McRae, because McRae is probably right in there.
I mean, why won't they just get him some reps at first base? Look, if David Villar can play first and Casey Schmidt, I think a guy who played infield could learn. You know, he's not the greatest fielder, but I mean, got to be better than Encarnacion. I mean, he's not as tall, but we'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. But and
that's the problem, right? Because Encarnacion, he has no option, so he's going to have to be on the roster. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, there would have to be an injury, I think, to see some of these guys come up from second. I don't think anyone's going to necessarily earn. Maybe Wisenhunt, maybe Harrison. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, I don't know if any of the Giants brass watches our shows. You should, because we give you a lot of insight on what's going on. I mean, I really think they should have been working Luciano all off season at first base. Look, Casey got it down in a week.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine Luciano.
But he's gifted. He's gifted with the glove.
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
Right?
That's why I say if you would have given Luciano 4 months to work at the position, he might have. It's another opportunity for him. Look, I would rather have Marco Luciano than David Villar.
That's fair.
At the
That's
plate.
Fair.
I just totally would. I mean, VR, we'll see what he does. I mean, I'm rooting for all the Giants. I'm a party pooper, right?
Hey, look at Orange Man. He's chiming in. He's saying he's going to win the division. The Giants going to win the division.
There we go.
Wow.
I don't know if they'll do that, but hey, stranger things have happened.
Yes, it's baseball.
I haven't been as excited about just seeing the Giants play winning since probably the 16 season. The 21 was a great season, but it was fun and it was a great race, but it's just, I don't know. That Farhan just, the whole thing drove me crazy, him being around.
Yeah.
And, just the fact that this team is run by, a legend of the franchise, and that he's about business. He knows the game. He's got great rapport with not only the coaching staff, but the players. And I'm sure he does with all the other executives. This is a baseball man. This is a guy that truly, truly knows the game and is just competitive. Don't let the softness and the kindness hide the killer instinct. He's like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the nicest guy you'll meet, but he's a cold-blooded assassin. And Buster's the same way. You don't have to be the loudest, pompous ass on the field or the court to be a leader.
True.
You can lead by your example. And, I guarantee you when Buster walks around the batting cages or in the club, or guys see him, it's like, oh, yes, sir.
And there's a difference too, because let's talk about the differences. It's not just that, but he's walked the walk, right? The guy has Rookie of the Year, an MVP, 3 World Series. I mean, the guy, he's caught a perfect game. Come on, I mean, it's his reputation exceeds him, right? Or I should say precedes him. So that helps when you have that. With Farhan, what was his quote unquote resume?
I think it was nerd school.
See, so there's an earned respect because I know this guy has done it before, and on top of that, he's not an asshole. He understands what it's like to be a player, so he has that connection. So you knew that was going to pay.
That's why all the ex-Giant players coming around again. And they feel welcome. I mean, Farhan would taken things down, Giants memorabilia.
Yeah.
What a clown. What a clown. I would have, if they had any balls back then, they would have fired him right there on the spot. What are you doing? What are you doing? This isn't your house. It's like some guest coming into your house and rearranging your furniture.
Right.
Like, get out of here. You're a freaking Dodger. Get out of here. You came from the Dodgers and you went back to the Dodgers. Hey, we got a super chat here from Fuji Simeon. He says expectations for Padres series. Giants go 1-2. Well, since it's a 2-game series, I think they'll go 1-1 at least.
Yeah, they should.
I think they go 1-1. I'd be happy if they go 1-1. Be thrilled
Who's
if they
pitching
go
the second game?
2-0.
Roop.
It should be Roop.
Oof.
And I think he'll bounce back.
We'll see.
I think Roop's bounce back. You know what I like about Roop? When I heard him on Marty's show, the guy's just awesome. He's not afraid of nothing. The dude took on a freaking bear
in the middle of the woods. Yeah.
Look, if anybody could take a bear and not lose their, you know what? Speaking of Roki, I mean, seriously, I mean, I'm dropping bricks in my pants if I see a bear.
Bricks. Okay.
Or maybe not bricks. Maybe some
mud.
Maybe some liquid gas.
Oh man. Yeah.
Hey guys, can I just say, sorry, Eric and Dan, I wanted to bring something up. If you notice behind Dan's left shoulder are the standings. And if you notice, Farhan went to LA, and since he's arrived, they took him back. They've had nothing but problems. They can't figure out
Farhan effect. Farhan effect is for real.
We might as well just start calling him Mush. He's like bad luck. Wherever he goes, problems happen. So I just wanted to make sure with Farhan, I'm glad he's there.
Yeah, I'm glad he's with LA too. Yeah, let him curse that franchise. Wouldn't that be awesome if LA just went into the
toilet
crapper hole? I mean, wouldn't that be great if they just let them have 121 season? Let them repeat that. Let them repeat the next 6 years. How about 2019? They're under 500. 2020 they're under 500. 21, they win 107. 22, 23. How about for 25, the Dodgers under 500, 26 under 500, 27, they have a great year, but they fall in the playoffs. 28, 29, and 30, they crap the bed. How about that?
There you go.
That would be awesome. Even if Farhan wasn't even involved in baseball ops, he's just hanging around, that would be great.
Oh,
yeah, live.
man.
That's pretty good. That's true. Bricks in the pants makes
it hard to
run.
run. Yeah.
I don't think he ran though. He didn't. He just
he stood his ground.
Yeah.
Stood his ground. Hey, got a couple of more here, or one more, I should say. Another one from Fuji. Dodgers just need to reunite with Kapler now.
Yeah. Hey, back here in LA, and, I'm going to go out to Beverly Hills, check out a really top-notch restaurant here in Beverly Hills.
It's got the right type of smoke.
Yeah.
To balance the smoke.
Jeez.
But man,
yeah. Hiroku says he told me
Hiroku?
Snell was Schmidt 2.0. Remember Schmidt with the Giants, and he went right to the Dodgers after he left, and he blew out his arm.
Oh,
wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, Snell re-injured his shoulder playing catch. It's like, what?
I mean, never like to see guys get hurt, but in the case of Blake Snell, you know what? And he's a Dodger. He got paid already, so what the heck? Serve him right. Robert, you say that every time. I'm not going to revise my pick. I'll be happy to be wrong if they win 90. But if I revise at 90 and I go, they're going to win 90 and they end up with 85 or 86, you know what? I'm hoping I'm wrong. Look, I told you guys my little secret. I picked 86, figuring if they go to 82, 83, I'm not that far off. And if they go to 90, I'm not that far off, right? I'm pretty close right there. So I hedged my bet.
What is it?
I look smart either way.
Yeah. And hey, Robert, I know you say this all the time, but obviously you haven't been watching the Giants because you keep saying the Giants are getting capacity crowds. Have you been watching the Giants? Dan speaks, and I've been to 2 games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're drawing about 15,000, even though they're saying there's 24,000.
That's why they're selling $10 tickets.
$10 tickets. Now they're starting at 501. Yeah, if they're capacity crowds, why would they sell tickets for 501? You got to remember, Saturday was Crawford giveaway day, and every Sunday they get 30,000. So you keep saying capacity crowds like it's been like that all season. You haven't been watching the games. So, you keep watching. When they come back and they play teams like Arizona on Monday, Tuesday. Now, day games, like, Thursday's day game, they did have 28,000. So that's a good crowd. But capacity is a sellout. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Lou, back in Candlestick, the Giants went to the one season or 2 seasons, I can't remember. They did it like the Cubs, where they played almost every game was a day game. Would you like to see?
They had 21 day games, the most ever. They used to only average about 6. They went to 21. Then the following year, they went to 39. So almost half the games were day games.
Wouldn't you like to see that again and maybe just do Tuesday nights or something like that, and then have the day games, just because they don't draw well.
No, they don't.
Night during the week, and it's hey, let's just be honest. It's not that enjoyable when it's 55 degrees to watch a ball game and it's cool and then the wind picks up. Now, if you're down where Lou is, you feel it more. I didn't feel the cold as much because I was under the underhang of these, I was in the club level where what was it?
Covered.
I guess it would have been the announcers.
Yeah, the
comes
press
out.
Box.
Press box comes out over me, so I was shielded by a lot of wind, and it wasn't as cold. But when you get that wind whipping up, you look at the people.
people forget this ballpark is closer to the ocean than Candlestick was. Candlestick, you had a good 3/4 of a mile before you hit the water. This, you got to remember, you hit a homer in McCovey Cove. That's the ocean. So I've had a few nights. I mean, I went last Monday, and it was freezing. I had gloves on, everything.
It's not that enjoyable to watch a game, and that's frankly why a lot of people don't go. But everybody loves to go to a day game a lot in the city, especially, if they could clean up the city a little bit more and people could, enjoy the evening if they want to go in, hey, let's go to a 12:45, 1 o'clock game. Game will end 3:30 and we'll go out to dinner, Yeah,
and they changed the times, the starting times for that. Remember, it used to be 7:35 first pitch. Now it's 6:10.
6:45.
6:45. Some at 6:10. And then on Saturdays, they were doing the 4:10 starts. They're trying to do it. I think the one big problem, and again, you can't predict it, is I don't know if there's rules in the major league. I don't know if there's TV contracts you got to deal with, or is it where if you have another team so close like the Warriors are, you might have restrictions. I just don't know, but I'd love it if every game was a day game, except like maybe
I'm
Monday
not
and
so sure.
Tuesday
I
nights.
think the home team gets to dictate when they play. The other night, the Angels on Thursday, just this past Thursday, they elected to have a night game Thursday instead of a day game for the getaway. It was their game.
Oh, is that when the Giants played them, or
no?
Remember the Giants got screwed. That was at New York or something. I can't remember.
Philadelphia.
That was Philadelphia. But Thursday, the Angels did it to themselves. They played a night game Thursday, 7 o'clock, ends 9:30, whatever. Then they have a night game on Friday in Minnesota. So they flew out late that night, and then you lose 2 hours going Central Time to Minnesota. They didn't arrive till 6 a.m. in Minnesota. And then, by the time you get to your hotel and everything, you're talking 7, 8 o'clock. And then you got a game 11 hours later. They lost 11-4 that night. And you know what? You saw how it affected the Giants when they came back from Philadelphia, that first game against Milwaukee. Was it Milwaukee? Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Did they win that game or what?
Yeah, but it was like 4-2, maybe a late start.
Oh, no, wait. They came back from Anaheim. They won that game. That's right. But it was the first game against the Angels. They were sleepwalking. Remember? They lost the first game of the series. And what was that? That was Friday night.
Oh, that was like when they had 14 strikeouts again.
I'm just going to look up that game because they were awful that game. That was Friday, April 18th, was it? Yes, they lost 2-0. 2-0. Their bats were totally dead. They were totally out of it. And then they won Saturday's game, and then they blew the Sunday game when Walker gave up the 4-1.
Yeah, that was
Eprakua. When are we going to have Ned back on? I would say probably within the next week or so. We'll get Ned on. Within the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Nice.
Probably as the calendar kicks over to May.
Oh, I gotta address something. I saw this earlier. This guy, JG, goes, "You're all obsessed with Farhan." I'll tell you why. Remember this? Remember this? That's the reason why we're obsessed with Farhan. This is what we got 2 off seasons ago. We have PTSD dealing with this guy, man. That's why we always go on about
We're going to be really aggressive. We're going to go out and get guys at the trade
remember
deadline.
that?
AJ Pollock.
Oh, my God.
The dude that was injured when he traded for him.
Yeah.
He had a hamstring.
One game. He pulled an oblique, throwing the ball in, and he was done. He was done.
Throwing the ball in, yeah. He's going to be a great clubhouse guy. Remember that?
That's why we're obsessed with Farhan. He totally just...
when you look at the show that we had a few years ago, just think 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, we had Farhan and Gabe Kapler.
I know, man. Look, is that crazy?
That's absolutely nuts.
There was people who are okay with that. There were people out there who are okay with that. Now you look what we have. It's night and day. Come on.
Yeah, 2
years
ago. 2 years ago, we had. You remember all the fun we had with the play at third base and the whole team like they didn't touch the bag,
and they're marching out to the freaking mound.
Do we still have that? That was hilarious.
And I think we were 0-12 on challenges. 0-12. It was like they were so obvious we shouldn't have blown the challenge.
That was
I don't
hilarious.
think we had to get rid of it because I remember you got a hit. You got a hit when we were playing that on YouTube. But yeah,
that was hilarious.
And then what was it like a couple of weeks later when the ball hit Flores' glove in LA?
Oh yeah. and he challenged it.
And then Kai Correa was like, "What?" Remember, because Kapler was like looking for someone.
Correa's going, "It's a foul ball. It's a foul ball." No, it hit Flores' glove in fair territory, and it landed foul. And Correa's like going nuts. And then that's right, Kapler was just chewing Correa a new one. Like, what are you doing? You made me look like a fool.
Well, look, he looked like a fool without the help of Correa.
Well, Gabe, if you hadn't been on your laptop doing a food review, you might have seen what was going on in the game.
Oh, remember the soil? Oh, that was so great. That was so great, man.
Oh yeah. Hey, I almost sold coconut oil as a as a giveaway. The Giants should have had coconut oil giveaway day. That would have just been great for the city. They would have sold out on coconut oil day. Little jar of coconut oil with Gabe's picture on there, the grease monkey. Oh gosh.
Remember this? Here it is. Remember this one?
Yes.
See, Yaz has come around though. Yaz has come around. Oh my God, that was so good! Holy crap!
Is that Jock? Is that Jock in the back?
Jock. There's Jock, and then Kai Correa
and Slater.
Slater, and who was this? I think it was Doval. It was Doval when he wasn't. Oh yeah, remember here they're fostering. Fostering them. Oh man, how about that? That was freaking
those
classic.
Quotes. Gabe's in Miami still, isn't he? Is he still with the Marlins?
I think so. Yeah, he was one of the guys that didn't get fired.
Yeah, I think he's in the front office of the Marlins.
Yeah,
the Marlins are bringing up some decent players, though. I mean, they're not too bad. What is the Marlins record? Let me look. Marlins are 12-15. Nah.
Ibrahim, those are some ugly ass turnips. Pretty good. Nice. Hey guys, if you're watching, I know we're streaming on both channels. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the channel you're watching. It helps both channels out, helps us grow with the algorithm. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, we got a Fuji Simeon, another one. Gabe is assistant GM. I forgot about the coconut oil. Oh, that was bad. That TMI, man. TMI.
Oh, I might have something here. Let me see if I can pull this off.
Lord.
I might have something. I did something. This was when Gabe had just come to the Giants. And this was.
Oh no. Hey, look, I'm gonna ask you a question. Is there a different vibe in the park from the games that you've been able to go to this year?
Well, it's funny you bring up that. Me and Dan the other day, I was sort of criticizing where these guys don't get excited until literally like the 6th or 7th inning. It's been very quiet the first like 4 or 5 innings, especially if the Giants are down. I think the problem is I've gone to 3 games and they've had problems. Opening day was a disaster. None of the apps worked. People had problems getting into the ballpark. So it gives you a bad thing when it's your opening day and you have problems.
Right.
The last time I went, being a season ticket holder and you have Field Club, your tickets are supposed to give you a free beer. That still isn't working as of Monday. And then the 25% off, you were going, the numbers aren't working. So I think, they're giving you an opportunity to walk in the ballpark and you already have a side effect. But the overall vibe, the one good thing they really did is 2 years ago, where I sit in my seats, the net literally was connected to my section, for foul balls. And then they moved it. So actually, it's not like we're caved in. It's now, a good 6 feet away. So you can have a little breathing room. The problem is the games I've been to, except opening day, the 2 other ones, 4 rows behind me were completely empty. There's nobody there. And if you notice, unlike Robert, when you watch these games, there's a lot of open tickets. And if you go on StubHub, it's almost like the whole ballpark is trying to be sold, So, different vibe. Yeah, probably they are, but they're also winning, so.
Right.
I think that it always helps when you win. Everyone gets excited. The bleachers, every game seems to be packed.
Right.
Like when I went Monday, it was San Francisco State Day or something. So that's where they put them. They had a band and everything. Yeah. So,
and what about, man, it seems like the fans are really hyped about Jung-Hoo Lee every time.
Yeah.
He comes
so
up the bat.
That's the one thing is you hear that cheer left and right. I know the bleachers, they don't aren't really publicizing. They used to have a section called the 415.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that for the city, and they're not really selling that many. So to the left of them is the Jung Lee section. So I mean, they're there. They're dressed up. They have shirts. I mean, I even saw pom poms the other night. And every time he comes up, even when he warms up, they're all doing the chant. Which is great. We have something. It's probably the first time since Milky. Remember when we had the
Milky Cabrera,
and everything? The first half.
Milkman.
So, hopefully, and you know what? He deserves it right now because he's been so solid. He's really helped. I mean, imagine, with our lineup without him, where we'd be. But he deserves everything, and hopefully, he can last. And I will give Dan credit. He said on a text on LinkedIn and on the show many times, he believes in the next 5 years he will win a batting title. So I think, Dan saw it before anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but, we'll see. I mean, he does seem to be a guy that has great hand-eye coordination and puts the bat on the ball, and he can hit it to all parts of the field. Hey, speaking of hitting it to all parts of the field, in recapping this weekend, I want to give hats off to Patrick Bailey. One of the best at bats I've seen in a long time. He just played fungo. He didn't try it over. He just went poop.
He just went. It was the first pitch. He just went.
And he literally was trying to do that. You can't convince me any otherwise.
On the show, I was like, I'd rather see him make those little dunk shots every freaking time he comes up the bat than trying to swing from his heels and just striking out and looking awful. Just put the bat on the ball, just go wherever the pitch is thrown, and just get a base hit. If you finish with freaking 5 home runs, I'm okay with that. But if you finish with like a 260 average and you're always on base, come on, I'll take that every day, especially where he's batting in the lineup.
Hey, look at Buster here. He was actually getting a ticket for the game back in there's Buster.
The paw day. I remember those.
That was Buster with his I'm looking for that video, but I can't seem to find it. I'll find it here. It was pretty funny. I was doing a little thing.
Yeah, kitchen. Man, he laid into that one. Just wasn't enough, man. That one into the left center with Bailey. He crushed it. But again, you hit it because it was what he was batting left. So yeah, it was an opposite field shot. Just wasn't enough. Just get a base hit, man.
Yes.
Oh, Fuji. Yeah. Bailey using a torpedo bat today.
Oh, he almost got a hold of it. He thought it was gone.
And it wasn't.
Yeah. I was like, when it didn't sound like off the bat, that's gone.
Yeah, but it was kind of off the end of the bat a little bit. It wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he must have missed a part of the torpedo.
And what's ironic, if he probably would have used his old bat and it wasn't the torpedo bat, it probably would have gone out.
Maybe
the sweet spot is located
because
right.
There would have been more wood at the end of the bat. Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, because the bat gets thin at the very end of the
Yeah, at the
barrel.
very
on
end,
that,
you
doesn't
lose more wood. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, man, they should be able to make that thing like one of those bazooka bats and just have like a little tiny little handle.
Did you ever see what the hell was that guy's name back at turn of the century? He had the bottle bat, and it was an abomination looking freaking bat. But he didn't use it for power. He just used it to get base hits.
Yeah, not even torpedo bats work at Oracle. Isn't that the truth? Man, no home runs in the whole series by either team.
That's right.
Yep.
Just yeah,
triples
very
and
low
doubles. A lot of doubles.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, don't you think Jung-Hoo Lee's hitting the ball harder this year instead of those ground
Solid
balls
contact.
that he hit last year?
Yep.
It's like his swing's a little bit more, I don't know, maybe he's adjusted it a little bit because he was always on top of the ball last year. It would just
now
be
really hard contact, precise.
Yeah, he's hitting it hard, and he's got to be up there. Let me see if I can pull that up. I bet he's up there in the league leaders. He might be in the league leaders still in doubles, right? Didn't he? I know.
Yeah, I think he was tied. You're talking about Jung-Hoo?
A week or so ago he was.
I think he's got 11.
Let me look here. Standings, or let's see, regular season. What are we looking at here? How about Eugenio Suarez Day yesterday, guys?
And then he still lost.
Yeah. I mean, 4 for 4 with 4 home runs, 5 RBIs. He's got 10 now on the season, but he's only hitting 206.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, if Mike, are you out there? Mike,
what the heck did I just put?
Mike O, if he's out there, I said, I wonder if I offered him Jose Ramirez in fantasy for Eugene O. Suarez right now, if he would take the deal. I wouldn't offer him that, but just to be curious to see if he would. He'd probably say, no way, I'm sticking with Suarez. Does Wade get all of May to try to improve his average? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they're going. Look, and I said this before too, and I don't like the way his at bats are, and I've kind of been advocating that, hey, maybe there needs to be a change. But I said you got to give him until the end of April at least, just to see what he's got.
You mean end of May or April?
No, I'm sorry, the end of April, and then just to see, where he's at, and then maybe sometime in May they make a move or something. But his last couple of games have been decent. Unfortunately,
well, he's hitting the ball hard today, and that's a good sign. Who was it? There was somebody, I can't remember. It was an old timer that I'm not sure if it was Pete Rose or somebody. Guy comes up to maybe it might even been Willie Mays. Not sure, but somebody, you have you're having a tough time at the plate and you just drive the ball on the nails. You just smash it.
Mm-hmm.
And you come back to the dugout dejected because now you're 0 for 1, 0 for 2 or whatever. And I can't remember which player it was that said this. He says, hey, you just beat the pitcher. He just happened to hit it. You beat him, but it went to, you hit it where somebody was able to catch it.
Right.
Think about it. Change your focus. Today, Wade beat the pitcher. Mm-hmm. He really did. He was smashing the ball. Just didn't get the break to come through for him.
Can I say one thing about this comment? Not this one, but about Wade. He hasn't been the same player since his injury. So
no, he hasn't.
If you guys remember, he was batting like 326. His on base was like 495. Incredible.
Yes.
And then he was out, 6 weeks? And he came back and he couldn't hit the side of a barn. True. Now here we are. He may just not be the same player that really spoiled us before the injury. But as to the question, I think maybe give him, me and Dan said at least 100 at bats. And okay. I think for him to get, we can't have a guy batting below 100 when we have 2 or 3 other guys hitting below 200. And you got to remember, he since there's so many righties, he's in there, 80% of the time. You can't have it. It's like a pitcher hitting. So hopefully, it can turn around. But you got to give him, at least 100 at bats, maybe midway through May.
And I don't know if they accounted for today, but he's got 70 at bats and he's still batting. Yeah, I don't think they took in consideration today because it shows him batting 114 and it's less than that. I think he's batting like around 110, 109, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, that's a great point. You can't just keep having a guy batting on the interstate. You just can't. I mean, because look at this. Even if he goes on a run, what the heck is it? Where's he getting? How much is it going to take for him to
maybe? I know Bond said something similar. Hey, look at these guys. Look at the actual batting leaders. Aaron Judge is just tearing it up.
Dude, yeah, I know.
Now, look at this here. Look at doubles. There's Jung-Hoo Lee with 11, tied for second. But if you look at home runs, Raleigh, Suarez, Carroll's got that many. Wow.
Soderstrom, Trout.
Mike Trout's having a horrible year, though. You want to know what his batting average is? Under 200.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But look at batting average here. Jung-Hoo Lee's 9th, but look at Judge. He's hitting 406.
Yeah. Goldschmidt,
yes, Goldschmidt. Look at that, 2 Yankees.
Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, Tatis is having an MVP season in the National League.
He is. Stephen Kwan, of course, he's always up there. Pete Alonso.
Wow, Alonso, yeah. What do you know? He's playing for money. He's playing for big
Gavin
time.
Lux. Oh my God.
Okay, let me tell you who doesn't stay here. I mean, that I don't know. None of them are staying where they're at right now, but for sure, Donovan. I mean, Judge may stay up above 300, but he's not hitting 400, obviously. But guys who won't even hit 300, Donovan.
Yeah.
Alonso.
No.
Lux was a good hitter in the minor leagues. I don't know. Springer isn't going to keep hitting. Lee, he could stay at 300. Look at how close he is to Glenn's prediction right now. He said 326. He's hitting 324. I would die laughing.
That would be incredible.
I would laugh my what off if Flores hits over 30 home runs and Lee hits 326. Glenn will he'll be coming on here. He'll come on.
Oh, hey, and he has every right to do it. He's
exactly. Oh my goodness. Jacob Wilson, yeah, he's having a good year for the A's. That dude doesn't strike out, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Has he struck out this year?
I think he might have.
Yeah,
he doesn't, dude. He's solid.
It's amazing when you make contact, what happens.
Yeah,
to your
right.
average.
Exactly. And look at his on base. I'm talking about Judge, 500. His on base is 500. He's on base half the time.
Hey, think about Wade last year. It was the end of April, early May. He was like 471 the end of May.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, he was just getting on all the time. Wow. It'll be fun to see how it plays out, all those stats. But stats are fun, but let's talk around the All-Star break. A lot of guys have great first halves, make the All-Star team, and then you never hear from them again, and they're never an All-Star again.
Right. Yeah, see, there's the updated live insurance comes in Wade 110 right now. Yeah, you just can't. That's especially when you got a catcher who's only batting 160. I mean, it's you can't have that many holes in your lineup. You just can't. Nothing against the guy. Look, I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just saying the production, you can only go so far because right now it's not costing them any games because they're 19-10. But there may come a point in time where it's like, hey, we need some production especially from first base.
Exactly. That's going to be an interesting situation. How long can this team keep winning, getting no production from really a couple of spots? You're talking first base and to an extent catching. You can live with Adames too. Yeah. Wow. How did Adames do today?
I know he had one hit. I think he had a strikeout. Hold on, let me bring it up.
1 for 4, maybe.
I think he was. I think he drew a walk too. Or did he even have a hit? I know he drew a walk.
I knew he was on base. He had a walk. Yeah. Was he 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 with a walk?
0 for 2 with 2 walks.
Oh, okay.
No strikeouts.
That's good. And he didn't chase one of the pitches he'd been chasing all year. That breaking ball,
that low and away.
Yeah, which was a good sign. Finally laid off of it.
Ramos had 2 hits. That's key. That kid's got to get hot, man.
Yeah, 2 infield hits.
Yeah,
but hey, take them. That's what's going to break Wade's slump. Maybe just some blooper, or dribbler. That's how it goes. You hit the ball and you just crush it. You get nothing to show for it. The next day, you get some little squibber that spins down the third baseline and
baseline like Ramos today. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was absolutely incredible how it ended, though. Absolutely freaking incredible.
Yeah, we got to see that one more time. Maybe that was just the best. In fact, we got a lot more people in here right now. Let's see if we can
play it again.
Let me see if I can cue it up here, if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Let me.
Oh, Eric, that's great. If I was watching that game on the dots, I'd be losing my ever-loving mind, not knowing what the hell's going on. I'm like, he's running. What's going on? You're muted.
It goes like station to station.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's going on? Is it a rumble?
Oh, that would be great. I would love to see. Let's see if you can find that, Eric. Like Google that. See if there's anything that shows the dot to dot station.
Oh my gosh, I know.
All right.
Would it? I don't know if it does.
All right, I'm going to cue this up. You guys ready?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. Let me. I had to run through the commercial first. So.
Oh, look at this.
What do you got?
Hold on real quick before you do it. Check out on MLB, the MLB website right there on the front. Look at that. That's a great shot, man.
Look at that.
That is a great shot.
That dude is built like a stinking linebacker, man.
Oh, that's a Pete Rose freaking slide right there.
Oh,
man.
he was like, you know what? If the guy had picked it up cleanly, he had bobbled it. If he picked it up cleanly, it would have been interesting. There would have been a play. It would have been really close. Because if you notice, as he slides through, about a second and a half later, the ball comes to the catcher. So let's
unbelievable.
Here we go. We'll bring this up for you guys that missed the opening of the show. Here you go. Courtesy of ESPN, NBC Sports Bay Area.
Ramos is 1 for 2. Taps this one to third. And he throws it down the right field line. Ramos is on the move. And he is going to stop. No, now he's going to go to third. Here's the throw. It gets by him. Here comes Ramos.
Look at Adames.
It's over. Unbelievable.
I mean, it would have been a great.
This is a better angle.
Tries the play, it goes up the line, and you see Ramos swing. He was going to stop at second base.
Look at Adames out there. He's behind freaking Matt Williams.
Yeah.
And in the air throw and up the line.
And there he goes.
And we all go unhappy. My goodness.
Adames was stride for stride along the dugout.
And he was going to be just very happy to be at second. Then he looks
up.
over and he
knows
sees
what's
Matt
going
Williams. And it becomes a snowball fight. And the Giants walk off with a tremendous homestand and a wonderful 17-game stretch.
All right, here's your final. It's the Giants 3, the Rangers 2. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Toyota Giants post-game live starts right.
Jung-Hoo Lee got more of the Gatorade than freaking Ramos.
That's funny.
Man.
Well, since we're showing some crazy base running, let's watch one more crazy moment, but this time with John Miller at the mic.
Oh, that was great.
Wait. Okay, let's break this down to the eyes.
You got to get the TV coverage. That's the radio MLB.
We wanted John Miller.
Yeah. Oh, he's hysterical.
It's great.
I think I have the.
I got it right here, I think.
Okay.
Yep. Here we go. Hold on. Wait, is that it? Nope, that's not it. Nope. Hold on. Where is it at? How come I can't? Is this it? Oh.
Okay.
That's not it.
That's YouTube. We don't want to.
No, that's not it. Come on. It's the ones without freaking John Miller's call. Hold on.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Let's see. I got to run through. Let me run through the 30-second ad before we bring it up.
Right.
And then, that was classic. The worst base running I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so damn funny, dude. Oh, it was great. Great.
Yeah, Luke Jackson finally came through for the, as Aaron says, let me see if I can pull this up here. Okay, we're still, gosh, they're going to go 2 ads on us. Wow. Luke Jackson, man. Better known as Puke Jackson.
Puke Jackson.
Jeez. All right, let's see. We got this going here. Okay. Here we go. Let's cue this up. I think we even got maybe a version of John Miller talking about it. I think I haven't watched this. So here we go. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Story is the context of it. The top 2 teams in the division were the Giants and the D-backs.
The pitch. Swinging, there's a shot deep in the right center.
The right fielder, David DeLucci, the ball went over his head.
Racing back to Lucci, still going back into Dick Valley.
And the ball is rolling out to the 421 marker.
It goes right over his glove. He missed it.
Game over because Ruben Rivera was a fast runner, a great athlete. So he was going to score easily. Startled, to say the least. Shocked. He didn't know where the ball was. He missed second base. Started to go back to first base, but he needs to retouch second base. So he goes back to second base again. Marquise Grissom is running at him, shouting at him, go!
Now he's heading for third, and they're going to throw him out by 20.
The throw has come in. He's going to be out literally by 10 feet at third base.
But the throw to third is back.
The ball comes up in between hop, hits the third baseman, and rolls over to shortstop. Not good, but it's going to be second and third and nobody out. They still have a great chance to get him home and win this ball game.
Now he's heading home.
He got up and headed to the plate.
The loose ball in the infield, and he's out by 5 feet at the plate.
It's an easy out. I was outraged like a fan.
And that was the worst base running in the history of the game.
I always felt bad about that. A couple of days later, the Giants released him. I showed up at the ballpark, went into the clubhouse, and I didn't know about it yet. And then one of the coaches said to me, he says, they released Ruben Rivera just a little while ago. I said, really? And he says, are you happy? And I did feel bad, but I think the context was everything about that play. It was not just that he didn't score and these misadventures in the racetrack, but it was a big game, the top 2 teams in the division, and it was the winning run in the bottom of the 9th inning.
The corner third is back. Now he's heading home.
In the third base.
In the infield, and he's out by 5 feet at the plate. And that was the worst base running in the history of the game.
Classic, man.
Oh,
Classic.
my goodness. Did they win that game, by the way?
I don't
Did they
even
end up
know.
winning that game?
Well, they released them the next day? Is that what it was they said?
A few days later, whatever it was. Oh gosh.
Man, dude.
That's funny how he tells the story. Are you happy?
Are you happy? Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. The third base coach is like yelling, stay, stay. He just took off. I think he was just panicked. He just obviously he got into his head like, I've botched this. Now I can score. Oh, I was supposed to score originally, so I got a chance to redeem myself, and you just, oh gosh.
I know.
Wow.
It was a circus out there. That was freaking funny as hell.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But
I tell you what, Giants are going to really love this day off. 17 games in a row.
Oh, yes. 17 days. You know, they don't have another day off again after today until a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
So they're going to go like 9 straight days, 8-9 straight days again. And they
I think in the month of May, I think every Thursday, I think they got a day off.
Except the first Thursday, except this week's Thursday against Colorado. But the rest of the month of May, they just got every Thursday off. But you know what? As a baseball fan, I love it because it's like every day you have something to actually like the Warriors won last night and it's great. And I was kind of like, but we get it tomorrow. At least it's tomorrow. But baseball every day. And it's kind of weird around the All-Star break. There's like 4 days where they're not playing and you're kind of like, wow. What couple of days.
What was their record on that whole 17 game stretch?
10-7.
That's good, man.
That's really good for what they went through.
Considering you don't have a day off in there, that's pretty damn good, man.
Day off, and all their wives' girlfriends are going to say, do this, do that. Let's go here. Let's go there.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yes, exactly. Great point, Ibram. I'd rather have 17 now instead of the dog days, especially with this team. Yeah, because in the month of May, they have 4 days off starting on the 8th of May and then every Thursday following that. And then in June, they have the first Monday they play, and then they have 3 Mondays off in June. They get 3 days off in the whole month of June. And then they play the last Monday in Arizona. And then in July, you get every Thursday off except the 3rd of July.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that week of the All-Star break, the Monday through Thursday off. And then August, you got 2 Thursdays off, 2 Mondays off. And in September, you get 3 Thursdays off. And that's it. That's it. It's not, it's kind of wild how baseball, you think about it, when you look at the schedule, it's like there's very few days off, and you got to really plan this team to, you can't burn out your minor league pitchers, starting pitchers. You got to have them have something left in the tank if they get called up. If you need a pitcher, you can't have a guy like, oh, he's already at 180 innings. You want to watch it, but you got to, I'm thinking that Harrison and Birdsong and maybe Wisenhunt all make starts for the Giants this year at some point in the season. Maybe Wynn and Black might have to make a few.
Your point. Hey, Dan, we're almost 30 games in, and only one roster move because of injury has been made. That's it.
That's right. Just one. Casey Schmidt.
That's it.
I love it.
And how about let's give Koss, some pats on the back. He came through with a nice hit today, man. That was nice. Matter of fact, that tied the game.
Oh, Jelly's pitching well. Good for him.
Yeah, he is.
That's good. Oh, hey, did we not say that for the Giants to really compete, everything's going to have to go right? Very little injuries.
Mm-hmm.
teams are going to have injuries, and it's kind of playing out so far that way.
Playing that out, especially with the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they can just stay as healthy as possible, not lose anybody. And I got to believe that Adames heats up at some point a little bit. Wade picks up, Bailey picks up. You just hope, and Ramos, all these guys, you just hope that as they pick up, the other guys don't fall down and do the same thing that they're doing. Like it just, they just shift spots. That would be like, okay.
Yeah, right. And that's hard, right? It's hard to get, all 9 in a lineup to kind of.
Ideally, you want at least 6, if not 7 guys producing at the same time.
Yes.
Because then, but right now the Giants have 4 or 5 big holes in their lineup. If you look at catcher, first base, shortstop, that's 3. I mean, Ramos has been kind of down.
Yeah.
That's 4. And Chapman's been average-wise down, but, he's hit well with runners in scoring position this year, over 300. But he hasn't really heated up. I mean, Wilmer's the guy. How many homers does Wilmer have? 7? I think 7. And nobody else is close.
No.
Right? Does anybody have 3? Jung-Hoo Lee has 3.
Jung-Hoo Lee has 3.
Does anybody else have 3?
No, I think the next one is Chapman with 2, right?
And Adames only has 1.
Wait,
right?
no. Yaz has 3.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
And Chapman either has 2 or 3. I think Chapman might have 3. But Adames has 1. Ramos has what, 1 or 2?
1 or 2. I can't remember. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to pull this. I'll pull this up right now. I got it right in front of me. Giants stats. Okay. Batting, home runs. Oh, Chapman has 5. And Yaz has 4. Where did I miss all those?
Really? I didn't know he had that many. Wow, I'm way off.
Yeah. Chapman has 5. Yaz has 4. I guess you know why Chapman's 5 are quiet? Some of them haven't come in big spots. A couple of them have. A couple of them have come in good spots. But some are just, they either had a huge lead or they were down big. Lee has 3. Ramos has 3. Fitzgerald 2. That's right. Adames, Huff, Matos, and Wade 1 each. Wow. Now, if you look at average, it's Lee at 324, Yaz 277, Flores 248, Ramos up to 246 after today. Chapman 214 and Adames 202. Ugh, that's bad. You're 5 and 6. Isn't that interesting? Chapman is 5th on the team at 214. He's 5th, and he plays third base, which is the 5 position. Chapman is 6th at 202, and he plays short, number 6 on the diamond. So you're 5. And that's kind of weird. And Flores is 3rd, and he would play first base if he played. And, yeah. Well, good thing Lee's not 8th. But RBIs, Flores is killing it. 28.
Yeah, he is. He's
right up there, league leaders. Chapman and Lee, 16 each. Adames, as terrible as he's hit, he does have 14. Yaz, 13. Ramos, 10. Bailey, 9. Wade, 8. 7. Fitzgerald. And then it drops to Huff and Schmidt with 2. And Koss got his first today. And Matos has 1. That's the only RBIs they have. That's pretty wild. Hits, it's Jung-Hoo Lee by 35 to Ramos 28. Flores has 25. Adames 23. Adames has 23 hits. Wow. Doesn't seem like that. He's got more hits than Chapman. Chapman has 21. Chapman's just walked more.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's why his average.
Yeah, his on base is like 380 something.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What else would be interesting? Fitzgerald has 5 stolen bases.
Yeah,
and Chapman 4, Lee and Ramos 3, and Ramos got that big one today.
Yeah, that was a nice deal.
2, Adames, Flores, Matos 1. Strikeouts. Who do you think's leading the team in strikeouts?
Ooh.
This is interesting, and they're all bunched
Bailey?
together. No.
My guess is Bailey.
No, it's not Bailey.
No? Okay.
I know Adames is up there.
I'm seeing Ramos. There it is. Alive got it. Ramos, 32.
Wow.
Adames, 31.
Yeah.
Chapman, 30. Bailey, 28. Then Wade, 21. Flores, 20. Yaz, 19. Fitz, 18. Lee, 17. I'm not going to count the rest because they don't play that often. Guys like Huff and Schmidt, Koss, Matos, and VR. But Lee surprises me a little bit, but I'm not concerned because he's going up there trying to – I think he's looking to hit the ball with more authority this year. So he's going to strike out a little bit more. But he's
right.
So those are some interesting stats. Base on balls, another interesting look by a long shot. Who do you think's leading in walks?
Chapman.
Yeah.
26.
Yaz is next with 15. This is where Wade has excelled in the past, but he's at 13, tied with Adames. Lee has 11, Ramos 9, Flores 7, Fitz 6, Bailey 5. This is where Matos has really struggled. He only has one walk.
Usually he draws a lot of walks. That's what he's done in the minors.
Just trying to think of any other interesting stat that might be hits. We already did. How about OPS? That's a good one. Lee at 929. That's excellent.
Yeah, because he's got those doubles.
Yeah. Yaz 888. That's excellent. Anything approaching 9 is excellent. Over 800 is very good.
Yes.
Chapman is 787. Flores 758. Ramos 696 and Adames 542. Wow.
That's bad for Adames. Remember last year? The Giants didn't even have anyone at 700. They barely had anyone at 700, let alone 800.
Yeah. I mean, this is a team that really needs another bat in the lineup in a major way. I mean, you got to get this is because you got to figure Yaz is going to come back closer to his baseball card, the back of his baseball card. I think he does a little better than he has the last couple of years because his approach has changed in that he's trying to be a hitter, he said, instead of becoming he said he swung for the fences, tried to hit it as hard as he could. And I like how he said it, and I heard him say it in his own voice. He says that didn't work out too well. You know, he's acknowledged that he needed a change. And so
and it's paying off.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get out of here.
Speaking of Yaz, he almost made a great catch today on that.
I know, it hit him right in the wrist.
He overran it.
Right.
He actually overran it. And that's tough when you're running full speed to get to the ball. You are, watching the ball. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, Aaron says, interesting how he changes approach in a contract year, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Money talks, man.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, Lou, should we talk about what we got planned here in the near future? Oh, you're muted.
Guys, one of the things that really makes the chat, me, Dan, Eric, and Glenn, is last year we had a special occasion. A friend of Eric's had a problem. And one thing about NorCal, Eric's show, and the Hot Corners, we want to help people in need. And I have a young lady friend who's her niece, best friend, unfortunately, has come down with cancer. She's 19, just turned 20 years old. And I'm going to give up 4 games again. I'm going to give up a game to help them out. And I thought it would be nice. We talk about it now on Hot Corner. We're going to decide between 2 Friday night games. Eric will advertise on his show, me and Dan, of course, on Dan's show. And I'd like to do this every year. So, next year, if there's a special occasion, I mean, nothing wrong with us guys. You get to go to a Giants game on a Friday night. I will make sure you can go for batting practice. I'll even make sure, if you guys need it, that you get a parking pass. So, I think it's good that all of us, we will give it for a Friday night game. Right now I have 2 dates that are available. If it doesn't work out, we can do it, but I'm going to do either Friday, August 8th against Washington, or August 29th against Baltimore. So, it's a Friday night game. It's fun. We'll probably do what we did last year. I mean, to tell you the truth, it was a lot of fun. I got to meet the people, and, Dan was so supportive. Eric, you started it off, and, so we're going to do one this year. And like I said, we'll do one next year. And I think last year was sort of tough because it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Let's do a Friday night. So, you get 4 tickets front row.
Maybe I don't know. Either one's good, being that it's a Friday night. August 8th might be good for more people, in the sense that I don't know when does school start? California, mid-August?
Yeah, usually the third week.
Yeah, mid-August.
Might be easier for families.
Yeah, we'll decide. Whoever wins can tell me what you want. It takes a while to get going. I mean, obviously we can do the same, but you have 2 to choose from, and, I want to help somebody. They're from Carson City. I was telling Eric earlier, I guess his family is very well known there. I even went through the Giants asking if Kruko can even mention it a few times on the broadcast, since he lives up in Reno, right on the border of Carson City. He probably knows who this family is. So, we just wanted to throw it out now. We're going to work in on Eric's show, Dan's show, and, let's see what we can do, guys. And, let's get back a little bit, and that's sort of why I have the tickets.
How old is
she
this?
Just turned 20.
20.
Oh, my goodness. And that's her daughter? Is that her daughter?
No, that's her niece. That's her sister. Sorry. But we have a whole article. So, we'll put it up. I'll send one to Dan of who it is. It's on Facebook. It's, horrible story. And it's, we all hate
check out that. I know it's a rare form of liver cancer.
Yeah.
So that's a shame, especially it's so young. We're going to do the same thing. We got the 100 squares. We're going to come to a determination of what the price is going to be and all that stuff. Maybe we'll do $20. I think that's what we had it last year, right? Was it 20?
I think we did 15, but I think 20 might be. I think we might be able to do 20.
Okay.
For a Friday night game.
Right.
Just you guys, just think about it now. We'll start working on it. I thought with 2 shows we'll be able to fill the 100, and we got a little time, but I like to do it every year just to help somebody out. So if next year, if somebody early in the season,
and we'll once we raise all those, we'll do the winner here on the Hot Corner on a Sunday night.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's perfect. We'll spin the wheel, as they say. Yeah. And no, it's not the highest bidder. It's everyone has an equal chance. You just gotta
it's kind of a random type thing. It's you pick
sort
squares,
of crazy.
And if your numbers come up, you win. Yep. And I don't know, maybe do we want to limit it to in the beginning to maybe 5-10 squares?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. 5 per person.
Because the tickets are worth probably $250. I think I paid $248.80 for a Friday night game. So
for all 4 or per ticket?
No, each. Per ticket.
Wow, that's a grand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't mind donating it for a great cause. So, last year I thought it was Eric, I'm so glad you bought it up through Russo. So
yeah, that was awesome.
I have someone this year, and then next year, Dan, if you know somebody or someone.
I hope I don't have anybody next year, man.
Yeah,
I know.
It's like,
but let's get back a little bit. For a good occasion, Friday night ball game. Who knows? Hopefully we're playing well. So I just wanted to throw that out there on the Hot Corner, since we sort of have both shows, and we'll keep working on it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That'd be awesome. Hey, great job. You put that together. Looks like, Eric, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
That'll be a lot of fun. I shouldn't say fun, but I like helping people when we can. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that'd be great if we sell 100 squares at
$2,000.
$2,000. Yeah. And that'll
and again, you guys get to go on the batting practice. You get to go on the field for batting practice, take photos, and then we can get their name on the scoreboard. So we make it a full day, and then I'll see if the Giants can throw in parking. So it's such a good occasion.
Wow,
that's
awesome. We can do.
Yeah, great. All right, guys. I guess it's time to get out of here. We got shows
nice and quick
tomorrow night.
Basketball
I won't have a Giants game post game, but we'll do a Warriors post game here So on NorCal Sports Network, and you guys are going live tomorrow with Giants, right?
No,
Taking
day
the night
off tomorrow, baby.
Day off.
Day off.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's 17 games straight, man. Damn.
All right. Awesome. Well, guys, hey, thanks for watching Hot Corner between Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network. We hope you enjoy this Sunday wrap that we do. And, it's
fun.
Always good when the Giants are winning.
Yeah.
Isn't that the damn? I don't even know how to act half the time. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, we don't know what's going on, man, when the Giants keep winning. So we'll enjoy it, man. We'll enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it rubs off over onto the fans of the Bay Area that they start showing up. They used to, in the championship years, they were selling out every night, man. At least they should have at the minimum, maybe when school gets out in a month,
it's a lot easier. Yeah.
Maybe those weeknight games at minimum should have over 25,000 a night.
Right. Legitimate 25,000.
Legitimate. Yeah. Not an announced 25 with 16 in the house.
Right.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching Hot Corner. We will see you next week, same time at 8:00. But as our individual shows, you know what we're on. We're on after every Giants game, post games, both channels, and otherwise, if there's nothing going on, I guess 8:00 or 8:30. I guess kind of hard to say now because there's a game every night except for tomorrow. Yeah. So we're just on after Giants games. All right.
Exactly. Whenever they finish, we're on about a half hour off.
All right.
You go right after, I go by after.
Everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching Hot Corner.
We'll see you next weekend. Woo!